one is called Bloodlust. Kind of an interesting title, not one you normally hear. So I'm kind of creeped out because this is the actual like first title that has to do with blood. So, all right, let's read it. There's chapters too. All right, chapter 1, The New Kid. It's the first day of school, Kyle, said Kyle's mom. Okay, Mom! Why'd you have to scream? Said Kyle. Kyle grabs his backpack and puts all of his school supplies in there. Bye, Mom! Bye, Kyle! Kyle walks out the door and heads to school. The name of his new school is Waverly Middle School. He crosses the street and heads to the cafeteria. It's so loud in here, Kyle thinks to himself. After he gets his breakfast, he hears a loud, "Shut up, Paulson!" I wonder who that is. Jesus Christ, people are so rude, he says. After he has breakfast, he heads to the 8th grade hallway. His first class is Miss Quinn's science class. He finds an empty seat to sit in. I wonder where the teacher is. The bell rings and Miss Quinn walks in the front door. Hello there. You must be our new student, Kyle, says Miss Quinn. She then rambles on about life instead of doing, science stuff. Now she starts talking about science instead of rambling. After the dismissal bell rings, he heads to his next class, which is Mr. Hussein. Mr. Hussein talks about history and the dismissal bell rings. Kyle leads back to Miss Quinn's 3rd hour class. Her 3rd hour class is a place for students to go to do extra homework. He doesn't have any homework, so he plays on the computers. The dismissal bell rings and Kyle heads to lunch. He gets in the line closest to the 8th grade hallway. He gets the Little Caesars pizza and looks for a seat. He tries finding some seats, but he is either told not to sit there or the people seem rude and he doesn't want to sit next to them. He sees another full table of people and some empty seats. He just sits there while eating his pizza. He spits up some blood. Jesus Christ, that is not good. Chapter 2. My blood, your blood, our blood. Oh, okay. Alright then. Kyle finishes the rest of his classes and heads back home. He coughs up more blood. He walks through the front door of his home and gets blood on the handle. Mom, I'm coughing up blood! Oh my gosh, said Kyle's mom. She runs to Kyle and interrogates him about what happened. Interrogates him? What, do they sit on a table and be like, where were you when the coughing started happening and you coughed up blood? Where were you? Okay then. Alright, where was I? I actually lost my place. Alright. She runs to Kyle and interrogates him about what happened. Then she takes him to the doctor. The doctor takes Kyle's mom outside the office and explains what's wrong with him. Well, I've never seen anything like this before. It's a virus, but nothing like it has been recorded ever. This virus starts off by making the host lose blood. If the virus doesn't take a taste, or if the virus doesn't like a taste of it, then the blood takes from other organisms to feed off of. The blood then gives the virus more power and gives it control over the host brain. The virus has a sort of bloodlust, said the doctor. Don't know why the doctor has an accent, but alright. The doctor didn't have anything to prescribe to Kyle, so him and his mother went home. It's time for Kyle to go to bed. Are you sure you don't need anything before bed, honey? Said Kyle's mom. Yeah, Mom, I'm sure, said Kyle. He went to bed and tucked himself in. He woke up late at 3 a.m. in the morning. 3 in the morning. Wait. Whoa. Is this one of those 3 a.m. videos? Playing Minecraft at 3 a.m.? Playing Roblox at 3 a.m.? No, this is not. Brandon, you need to fix your time. Anyway, his eyes were glowing red. He walked to the kitchen and saw his cat lying there. Hi there, Sebastian. Sebastian? I think that's it. Hi there, Sebastian. How are you doing? Kyle says in a different voice. A different voice. He takes a knife from the kitchen drawer and starts cutting into the cat. What? Whoa. Chill. What are you doing? No, don't cut into the cat. Cut into your mom. The cat. No, stop it. Blood everywhere. He then grabs a glass from the cabinet and pours the cat's blood into the glass. He starts drinking the blood. Perfect. He takes the cat's body and puts it in the shed in the backyard. He goes back to bed. Whoa! Whoa, Brandon. I mean, Armor Prime. Do we need to talk? What is it with you and cutting cats and drinking the blood and stuffing their bodies away? What the flip? Sebastian! Sebastian! Yelled Kyle's mom. Mom, why are you yelling? Asked Kyle. I can't find Sebastian, honey. Kyle didn't know that he was the one who killed Sebastian. Oh no, said Kyle. Well, I have to go to school. See ya, Mom. Unfortunately, he won't be seeing her anytime soon. Oh. Well, so what? He just learns that his cat died, and he's like, well, Blackjack, well, I gotta get to school now, bye. And like a happy attitude. Well, that's just great then. On his way to school, he sees a kid. His eyes turn red again. He walks toward the kid. Hey, kid, what's your name? Oh, no, this is Brandon. Oh, me? My name is Brandon. Hey, you're the new kid, aren't you? Said Brandon. Yes, I am. Hey, you want to come with me? To where? Said Brandon. You'll see. So Brandon followed him to the area covered in weeds and bushes, and then all of a sudden his head was chopped off. Head roast for Brandon. He licks the blood off his hand. Then he walks to school, his eyes still red with blood. More cost. Kyle kills more kids on the way to school and dumps the bodies in random places. Throughout the day, Kyle couldn't satisfy his bloodlust until 7th hour. 7th hour is Kyle's art class. Where's Brandon? Asked Miss Frank, the art teacher. I don't know. He's usually here, said Michael, one of Brandon's friends. Kyle laughs to himself. He wanted to satisfy his bloodlust. He goes to a kid named Ty. Hey, may I borrow those scissors? No, said Ty. Kyle forcefully takes the scissors out of his hand and stabs the scissors right through his hand. Yow! Exclaimed Ty. Blood everywhere. He then takes the scissors and stabs Ty in the neck. Blood everywhere. Ty is dead, and so is Kyle's humanity. Okay, this is kind of crazy, don't you guys think? Like Brandon is going really crazy, and there's a whole other chapter. Alright, chapter 3. No humanity. He runs to the door and locks it. He kills everyone who tries to escape. Blood everywhere. Everyone is dead. He eats them all. Whoa! What the? This is brutal! His skin is becoming covered with a red goo. The virus enhanced his physical abilities. He is no longer human. He makes a weapon out of yarn and scissors. How would you do that? Wouldn't you just cut the yarn? Oh well. He goes to every classroom in the elective hallway and kills everyone, tearing out their guts. He tears down the lockers and forms a sharp metal sword. A survivor runs to the principal's office to warn him. The principal says an announcement and warns all survivors to leave. Kyle uses this opportunity to commit mass genocide on the rest of the students and teachers. Kyle kills everyone. Blood covers the halls. Mr. Klein, a science teacher, creates a trap. He pulls all the gas nozzles and fills his room with gas. He cuts himself, assuming that Kyle is attracted to blood. He is right. Mr. Klein set up a tripwire to set off a lighter when Kyle walked in the room. Kyle walked into Mr. Klein's room and attracted to his blood. He trips the tripwire, a lighter lights up, and boom! The fire alarm goes off and Mr. Klein's classroom is burning. This affected the science room next to his, which also had gas nozzles, and blows up. All the rest of the science room blows up. The school is filled with burnt remains of wood. Okay, this is, in terms of scary, this is definitely the best one so far. But that was kind of brutal, Brandon, or Armor Prime, whatever. I think you have some serious issues that you need to work out with your therapist, Brandon. But other than that, it was a very good story. So I have one more story, and then I'm going to get to my scary story. So I'll see you all in a minute. Alright guys, I am back with the last story before I read mine. This one is from my friend MarMar. She'll be in the description, even though she doesn't have a channel. Alright. And she said, I don't know what to call this. ... Happy Halloween. And then a smiley face. So, yeah. Anyway, let's just read this. I think this is like in, what's it called? Introductory. It's easy to be a princess asleep for hundreds of years, awakened by a prince. It's easy to have a price, climb your hair to save you. Was that meant to be prince? Right, to have a price, climb your hair to save you. And it's easy for royalty to be bailed out of jail. But people need these people, so they save them. So why haven't I been saved? My tail, like a rat's with an arrowhead at the end. My eyes and tongue, similar to a snake's, but both a much darker crimson red. Or my horns, like a gazelle. Why am I so different to you? I rule. Similar to your annoyance of kings, I fight for my people, because they cannot, and I live. Although beneath your world I still live, without a ruler to your underworld. No one will die of age, which seems to be a good thing to you humans. Understand that when there are too many of you, you all will slowly, painfully perish. My spirits need me, or they will die again too. A cage of metal bars, a cellar, a news gelatin. I hope I pronounced that right. Anything would have better would have been better than this. I could have escaped, or died, or returned to my world, but instead you restrained me within an isolation room. I am powerless in your world. White, blinding walls, floors and ceiling. I've never been alone for so long. I crave food or sound. My voice is too hoarse to speak. Hunger cramps feel like knives in my abdomen, almost as bad as the ringing in my head. Why does my internal flame continue to burn? Why haven't I died? If I could, I would return home. I faintly see amber red on my skin's turning paler. My spirits are fading soon, and they will vanish and lead a shift of the worlds. In a desperate attempt to escape, I hurl my sore body against the wall. Again, again, again. Don't stop until I'm free. Everyone back home depends on you. I feel my eyes fill with tears of blood. My body is shaking. I feel cold. I fall before hitting the wall again. I shake uncontrollably. Blood from my eyes, and now my bleeding throat. Stain the floor. A painful reminder of home. I try to stand, but it's useless. I can't feel my legs, although if I could feel the pain they were in, I would probably wish I couldn't feel them. My vision's fading. My breath is going shallower. Growing shallower. I don't know when I blacked out or how long it's been. It's impossible to tell in here. All I know is that my surroundings have changed. The room is black now, completely. I'm used to the dark, but this is impossible to know where I am. I back up until I hit the wall. I follow it till I've reached all four corners. I believe that the small room size has not changed. I decide, having nothing better to do, to try to see if there's anything inside the perimeter of the room. My feet still felt heavy. I tried to speak, but still nothing. My mouth still felt wet with blood, as did my cheeks, and now my nose. Maybe I could die of blood loss. I walked randomly around the room, then up and down in rows, then from corner to corner. Nothing. I walked this track over and over again. Shouldn't I die when I have lost purpose? I cross my legs and sit down. I trace out her name on the floor with my finger. The only one who could keep my company was my breath of cold air. Now haven't I died of hunger or something yet? My throat, so sore, manages to let me say a few words. I miss Kitsuki. Hopefully I said that correctly. And then I laid my head to rest. 2 months ago, in the underworld. Hurry now, Kitsuki. We don't have long before the boat home leaves. I said as we hurried to Charon's, I don't know how to say that. I could see she was tired, but we couldn't miss a day's worth of work. a day's worth of work. I felt bad for her when she came to my doorstep a week or two ago. She died at age 8. She didn't belong here, but she was forced here. I've only had to guide very old spirits to the docks of the underworld. The rest come on their own, irrationally. I brought her partially back to life. I had to destroy part of my own soul, which was worse pain than the first time I died. Most young souls fade because they are weak. Her mother was cruel. From what I know, at first all she did was drink and yell. But then it got too bad to just solve her up or calm down. She beats Katsuki. She beat Katsuki, told her every day she was a disappointment. She took everything from her. First her bed, then her clothes and toys, then the lights in her room. She feed her less and hurt her more. Then, finally, she took the one person she loved away. Late in the night, while Katsuki was trying to cry herself to sleep, she could hear her mom's stiletto heels tapping on the floor. Katsuki saw her shadow blocking the light from the crack under the door. Her mother knocked as loud as she could. Katsuki held her breath, and eventually she left. Her mom walked down the hall. At the time, Katsuki did not know, but her mom was holding a loaded pistol in her hand and an empty drink in the other. She heard the door to her parents' room and slammed shut. She stood by the side of the bed. Her husband lay on. In a matter of seconds, her mother placed her hand over the husband's mouth and placed her head beside his. She lifted the pistol to her head. Katsuki had gotten up to see if everything was okay, just in time to see the pistol trigger. Her mom, later identified as Kikitshukai, the well-known murderer. Katsuki knew she didn't have anywhere to go, so she did the only thing she could think of doing. She kissed her father's forehead, slapped her mother's face, and picked up the pistol off the carpet, dialed 911 on the home phone, and lifted the pistol to her head. 911, what's your emergency? Shakily, she smiled and said, I'm fine, pulling the trigger. So I had to bring her as back to life as I could. Her pain hurt me so much. Although I'll be less powerful, at least she can try to live a half-hearted life. Karen is here, Katsuki said, pulling on my sleeve. I never liked jackets, but the overworld is so cold and bright. I wish I didn't have to bring Katsuki there, but she had a piece of my soul in her. So we couldn't be worlds apart from her without hurting her. I wouldn't want her to change at all. Her crystally pale skin, long, white blonde, wavy hair, and eyes turned red for my soul. A month and a half after Karen's voyage, we waved goodbye at the entrance docks. Here, Katsuki, I said, handing her a Shakira onigiri. I don't know how to say that. If you eat in the overworld, you'll be extremely sick. You may even die if it was food made up there. Katsuki nods, eating every bit to the last grain of rice. She wiped her head on her black dress. Ready to go? Just another nod from her. She didn't talk much, but in fairness, I never liked to until she came here. All right, close your eyes. I never let her view the summoning of spells. I was too afraid that they might hurt her. Spells actually hurt the summoner, but unless they are young, it is only minor pain. But taking Katsuki's age into account, even with the piece of me, she would most likely die as she summoned one. Seeing a spell might only hurt her a little, but I won't let her get hurt ever again. A month and a few days ago in the overworld. Our feet dropped to the ground. We had finally gotten back to the overworld, or as Katsuki called it, home. Katsuki looked worried, although she usually was in the overworld. Don't worry, Katsuki. Only the young, very old, and a slim number of priests humans can see us. But she shook her head. Her eyes were willing with tears, not clear like humans or bloody like mine. House. Oh wait, But milky white, there, she said in her faint voice. She pointed at a small, trashy-looking house. We don't have patient there, I told her, looking down to see her crying eyes. That is my resting place. I looked at her shocked. You mean your body's still there? You can't be here, I yelled frantically, grabbing her hand, trying to run far away from home. Her and limply fell from my grasp. We have to go. No matter what I said, she just stood there staring. No, Kitsuki faintly said, her tears still falling as she looked up at me smiling. I started to cry. The ugly blood tears I wish I didn't have. But if you see your corpse, you'll... She kept smiling. The smile she never got to smile when she was alive. I know, Akuma, but I need to be with them. All I could do was wave goodbye forever. Her spirit would never return to the underworld. 1 month ago, overworld. I waited there for a few days, then decided it was time to move on. There had been many like her. There would be many more, but it wouldn't matter. No one would ever be the same. They started to walk away. Do you mean I? I started to walk away, but then my feet gave out. My knees stung from hitting the sidewalk. I want to see her one last time. I have no reason to, but I will. Nervously, I opened the door, walked down the hall she had described, and reached for the door handle. I started to open it, just a crack. Suddenly, before I could open the door, two kakudos grabbed my arm. One wearing a kitsune mask pulled me away from the door, her wings hitting in the back of the neck. The other, with great strength, dug his nails under my skin. I could feel the air brushing against my skin from the wings. No! I screamed. But they had already taken off Kakudos. They had already taken off. Kakudos had the ability to summon immediate teleportation spells. I wouldn't be able to say goodbye to the only human who was ever important to me. You're under violation of the demon law, Akuma 8 said. No, that's 13, right? Yeah, I think that's 13. Akuma 13. The dark kitsune angel said, violation of saying goodbye. Who cares if I see a spirit destruction mark? I'd rather see it and no longer exist than live with this pain. As they took off, I could see through the slit of the open door, and most gruesome scene I've ever seen. This is coming from someone whose job is to the separate spirits from their being. I'm glad I could only see the rotten corpse of the rotten mother. Why am I talking so bad? I'm sorry, guys. I don't think I'd ever sleep again if I saw Katsuki. Current time, isolation chamber. Well, I'm just gonna say right now, this is a really long story. Good job. This is really intense too. I really like it. My eyes opened, suddenly closing again under a blinding light. My surroundings had been alerted once again. Although the walls were still black, the painted was chipped. There was a bright fluorescent light, so empty compared to the light of a fire. There was still blood on the floor. I must have... Oh, hold on. Oh, sorry. Where was I? I'm messing up, guys. I'm sorry. This is what happens when I read out loud for a really long time. I just start messing up. Alright. There was still the blood on the floor where I must have seen before, but it was smudged by a footprint. I assume it was made by my bare feet. Looking around, I noticed a bamboo board of food. I ran to it. Through all the pain I was in, I didn't care if it wouldn't stop me from dying of hunger or was drugged. I needed the food. I forced as much food down my throat as I could. It hurt so much to eat, but it was worth it to mask the taste of blood. Then I realized what I was eating. Shakira onigiri, Katsuki's favorite. My ugly blood tears fell from my eyes. Stop, please. Why are you trying to hurt me more and more? I'm already in so much physical pain. Don't bring her up again. I threw the board across the room. I had nothing left to do, so I sat there crying. I had nothing to live for and nothing to die for. It was over. I could feel a breath on my shoulder and a sound in the air. The sound was like music, but I knew it wasn't real. I looked behind me, seeing what I knew I would see. Nothing. You're here, aren't you? I assume you would be split between existence and non-existence because you had a piece of me. I felt her hand on my shoulder and my own hand wiping my tears. Don't ruin it. I want to know you're watching over me, like my own little guardian demon. I don't. I paused to clear my distressed voice. At least this will never happen again. No more little girls being hurt by someone. No one trying to take you away from me. No one. They'll all disappear. I've been gone from my world too long. It's most likely gone forever. So much for Kakudos being the good guys, right? I laughed and thought I might have heard her laugh too, but probably not. Yeah, we're all pretty rotten, right, Akuma? I quickly looked behind me, still no one. The room was the exact same, except the blood dripping on the floor. A shard of glass. Working because of a thunderstorm I have right now. So I'll probably record it in another video, but sorry for the inconvenience. And I have a picture of the story right here, so I'm going to finish reading it really quickly because I think I had like 2 sentences left. So I left off at a shard of glass, a pain in my chest, a smile on my face. My blurry vision could make out the pale figure of a white-winged Kitsuki for a brief moment. Ah, how I always loved a happy, how I always loved and happy ending to a fairy tale. Thank you, Kitsuki. So yeah, that was a really good story by MarMar. She's going to be in the description, even though she doesn't have a channel, because why not? So everyone who wrote a story, they'll be in the description, and yeah. So I guess thank you all so much for watching. Sorry for the disclaimer, and I will see you all later. Hope you all had a great Halloween. Get big bags of candy. Bye!